In this video I'm going to discuss some of the techniques filmmakers use to tell a story, portray emotion and influence the audience with their use on mise-en-scène and cinematography. The film I'm going to use is Martin Scorsese's American crime drama Goodfellas, adapted from the 1986 non-fiction book Wise Guy by Nicholas Pileggi, who co-wrote the screenplay with Scorsese, with Michael Ballhaus as the cinematographer. Set in 1955 to 1980s New York, the story focuses on the rise and fall of mob boss Henry Hill, played by Ray Liotta, and his interactions with his wife and his fellow mob partners. It's one of these interactions with Joe Pesci's character, Tommy DeVito, that I'm going to be analysing. The scene takes place 20 minutes into the film and begins with Tommy DeVito telling tales of how tough he is and laughing with his friends and fellow mobsters, when Henry tails out one of his laughs with a muttered, "Really funny, really funny." Tommy appears to misinterpret Henry's comment, and the tone of the room quickly shifts. This is where Tommy starts to ask Henry, "Funny how? What's so funny about it?" He even orders one of his associates to be quiet and let Henry speak.
Funny how? How am I funny?
Not just, you know how you tell a story. What?
No, I don't know. You said it. How do I know? You said I'm funny. How the fuck am I funny? What the fuck is so funny about me? Tell me. Tell me what's funny.
Get the fuck out of here, Tommy.
You motherfucker! I almost had him! You stuttering prick, yeah!
In this 30-second clip, we see how Martin Scorsese uses various different techniques to build tension, show power, and even make the audience feel nervous. So let's first look at how both men occupy the scene. We'll begin with Tommy. Here we see Tommy in a medium shot, just left of the center. Tommy begins this scene sitting back, enjoying himself. Then when he starts questioning Henry, he leans forwards, getting closer, almost like he's trying to close in the gap between him and Henry, to try and antagonize him into fighting back. What's also interesting are the people around Tommy. We have two people to the left of him, but they also appear to be behind him. This shows us that Tommy is the boss around here, and everyone else is below him. When he begins asking Henry the questions, all the men stop laughing and stare at Henry, almost like they're too scared to even look at Tommy. This is also enforced by the man standing to the right of them. Although the man is standing above Tommy, which normally suggests power, his head is not in the shot. This suggests that he isn't an important character. Tommy is oblivious to him, not even giving him the light of day. Not once does the man interrupt Tommy either, showing us that even though he is the owner, Tommy is still in control here. This is proven when Tommy later in the scene smashes a glass over his head. Now let's look at how Henry occupies the scene. Once again we have a medium shot with Henry just off to the right, but in this shot we have a different point of view. Henry begins this scene laughing and enjoying himself with everyone else in a relaxed demeanour, with his legs crossed, leaning back smoking a cigarette. But when Tommy begins questioning him, his whole demeanour changes. He uncrosses his legs, sits up, even puts his hands up almost as if he's trying to defend himself. There is also a difference with the people who surround Henry. Although the two men are behind Henry, which shows that Henry has some power, they're still very close to him, almost like they surrounded him, making sure there isn't any escape. The shot is also meant to focus on Henry, but we promptly see Tommy, who encapsulates 50% of the shot. It's only when Tommy reveals that it was all a joke does Henry become the main focus of the shot. Although the camera remains static throughout the scene, it is still used to help immerse the audience into the film. By being over the shoulder medium shot of both characters, it helps make the viewer believe that they are in the scene with them. With the camera being static, it also helps build the tension because it makes you stare at Tommy like everyone else in the scene is doing. Only when Henry begins laughing does the camera begin to move again, but only ever so slightly. It's almost as if the viewer is laughing with everyone, but they are still not sure if Tommy is being serious or not. It's like a nervous laugh. Scorsese decided to shoot this scene with only medium takes and no close-ups. It's because he wanted to see everyone's genuine reaction. Medium shots are used for dialogue sequences, and they allow the viewer to pick up on the character's movements and gestures. Body language is important to convey an emotion, and a medium shot remains close enough to capture that emotion. A way Martin Scorsese makes this interaction interesting is his use of silence. He does this to build the tension and make the viewer nervous by not knowing what's going to happen next. The silence is the central dramatic beat of the scene. We've been told early on Tommy is unstable and a bit of a loose cannon, so we're not sure if he wants to actually start a fight with Henry's character or if it's a joke. In this silence, we see everyone around them stood still, and even the characters in the background are watching Tommy. It's as if time has stood still, and only when Henry tells Thomas to get the fuck out of here do people start moving again. In an interview, Scorsese states, "But for me, it has to come from the music and the lack thereof. In other words, silence is important." Take this scene from another of Scorsese's films, Raging Bull. Here again we see his use of silence as a way of stopping time, almost like you're in the scene with him. Another way he uses his silence as a numbing effect, like you've been hit in the head a few too many times. Scorsese knows that silence is a great way of showing different kinds of emotion, whether it's to help build tension in a scene, a way for a character to make an important decision, or even a way to show intimacy between two people. Another interesting technique that is used is with the lighting. The whole scene is lit with these red lamps all around the bar. It could just be seen as the way the bar is lit, but Scorsese knows how to manipulate what the audience thinks in this scene. By using the red tassels on the light, it makes the audience think that there is danger ahead. His scarlet palette underscores the emotional distress or excitement, the danger, the despair, or the sheer violence of his characters. The color red becomes a visual exclamation mark, singling heightened emotions. Even in this 30-second clip, we see many different cinematic techniques that Martin Scorsese uses to engage the audience into the film, through his use of camera making the viewer feel nervous, or his way of silence to help build attention. Even something as simple as lighting is used to help portray danger and emotions in the scene.
Oh. Hey, Henry, hurry up, will you? My mother's gonna make some fried peppers and sausage for us.
Oh, hey, Henry. Here's an arm.
Very funny, guys.
Here's a leg.
There's a wing. What do you like, the leg or the wing, Henry? Oh, you still go for the old hearts and lungs?